Welcome to the Elephant TV. My name is Abdullahi and our guest today is Abdinoor. Abdinoor, welcome to the Elephant TV.
Thank you so much, Abdullahi. It's a pleasure being here.
Abdinoor, you are an education technologist. Tell us, what does that mean and what do you do?
Thank you so much, Abdullahi, and it's really an honor to be here. I'm a big fan of the Elephant, and I really follow up a lot.
Thank
Very
you.
insightful.
Thank you.
And today I got the chance to make a noise. That's the
Yes.
word I use normally.
Yes.
To tell people what I do. So
Yes.
I normally say, today I'm making noise
Yes.
at station X.
Yes.
So today I'm making noise at the Elephant.
Yes.
So basically, if I take you back a little bit, a few years ago, I was a very comfortable telecom engineer working under Safaricom. I was specialized in optical networks. So I was just ahead of department, doing very well. But unfortunately, when you come, you go to Nyumbani huko, you find, a Form 4, Form 3, Class 8 pupils cannot even construct a simple sentence. And then I also believe, the mass exam failure that comes year in, year out, historically from year in. Whenever there is a rating in exams, no distance becomes numberless. That's just something historical. And then now we had the exodus of mass teachers, non-local teachers running away from the region. So I decided, let me do something about it. Because where I was doing something for the developed communities, because we were doing fiber to the home. We take the fiber to your living room, which means that, the fiber in your living room opens new opportunities. It's a new world. That's why the IoT comes in, you do Skype, you do Zoom. But back home, nothing is happening. The technology gap is so huge that you cannot even think about it. So I decided to do MSc in education technology, at least to do something about education. Since I had no educational background, I said, let me do something about it. So I enrolled in MSc Education Technology at JQuat. So during before the graduation, we were told to come up with a technology project that's going to enhance learning. So with my classmates are going to, to bring something complex like simulation and modeling. I was like, my friend, we cannot even speak the English. So where is the simulation coming in if the language is a problem? So I said, let me translate the syllabus into now indigenous languages. So as an education technologist is how to integrate technology and the traditional learning. If you are aware that what do you call other disciplines and other fields evolve with time, like it comes to health sector, it comes to judiciary, everything evolve. But in our education system, education setups, the teacher versus the students, like the teacher is the authoritative figure, the students just learn what the teacher is saying, and it never changed since the beginning of time. So now, as education technologists, we are supposed to incorporate blended learning and also trying to digitize some content and also try to at least incorporate technology into our traditional way of learning, the chalk and blackboard thing, at least digitize it. So as education technologists, we do a lot of technology, but I decided to take the very simple aspect, which is literacy, because with literacy and the competence in language is the only way you can pass the exam. For example, in Kenya here, the language of instruction is English, which means if your English is not good, what are you going to write? Maybe you have the concept in your head. It's like, okay, I know the concept, but if you can put it into writing,
yes,
how?
It's hard.
You can.
It's hard. So and that was how M-Lugha was born.
Yes.
Explain to us how M-Lugha works, and specifically in the context of people in northern Kenya.
Amazing. So my reasoning was, if you're not competent with the language, don't expect to pass an exam. And that's the reason why we always fail in exams. It's not because we are dumb. It's because of the language of instruction. It's not our mother tongue. The smallest European country uses their own mother tongue. But in Africa, I was speaking at Africa Tech Summit in Kigali when M-Lugha was one of the best startups in Africa. One of the judges said, Abdi, this is not a Kenyan problem. It's an African problem. Every African child is struggling with a language that is not a source language. And UNESCO and all the organizations support the use of M-Lugha. What do you call it? Sorry, support the use of indigenous language. That's why in M-Lugha we say first language first before you go to school. So basically, M-Lugha is offline, interactive, mother tongue based application that translates or equips learners, both even adults and even young, in rural areas, especially northeastern, the basic literacy and numeracy. So it's an app. It's interactive. You don't need even teacher to help you to navigate through it. It's pictorial. It's also animation based. So you can learn alone. If it says Abdullah is my father in English, it will tell you in Somali, in Borana, in Maasai, in Kikuyu, in Kalenjin, and other Kenyan languages. So
That's
it has
amazing.
yes, it
Yeah.
has subject, it has mathematics, we have environment activity, we have language activity. Basically, those are the what do you call it, the subjects that are taught at the pre-primary level. And then the app is now approved by KICD, which means we have followed the guidelines. We have not created content from Mars or Jupiter. The content is from within the curriculum guide.
Yes.
So that's why now the M-Lugha is approved by the Ministry of Education. And it's really helping the people of.
How does it work? How does it work from your experience having been deployed within the communities? How has the community received? I can imagine myself as a young man from home, pressing on something and I see it is translated in my mother tongue. That is revolutionary. It's simple, but extremely revolutionary.
Absolutely. That's why, like I told you, I just came from London for the Global EdTech Awards. I won here in Kenya. Yes. People came with robotics. People came with assimilation and modeling. People came with AI in education. But mine won because of simplicity. It's simple but touching lives. Yes. We're talking about basic literacy. Someone in rural area who cannot speak English, but you are giving them literacy using what they understand. That is from
in their home. In their home.
At the comfort of their home.
Yes.
And then we are talking about mass teachers, exodus of teachers who ran away from the region.
Yes.
Now, the schools we go to, they have one teacher, others have two teachers. Yes. So with M-Lugha app, the syllabus is there, you are learning alone. And then we also pastoralists, we move from one place to another. Imagine moving away from school, but still you have your tablet, a solar power tablet where you can just learn. So you come back, you are still, you are learning on the go, by the way.
Yes.
So basically, the reception has been pretty amazing. We made a lot of noise, but unfortunately, we didn't get some political goodwill.
Yes.
Especially from the northeastern leaders. And everywhere I go, I always say we have very. I just want to watch my language.
Alhamdulillah.
I just want to watch my language,
yes.
But unfortunately, we have. Some politicians. Not
absolutely. I mean, I always argue that the biggest challenge in northern Kenya is that yes, there are many other things, but a lot of it is internal, and that is what the last 10 years has shown us. In the past, it was very easy to pass the buck and say, "Oh, it's Nairobi." Now, the marginalization of northern Kenya has a local flavor. It's done in local language, it's at local time, so I think that is the problem.
Actually, we are marginalized by our own people.
Exactly, and it hurts more because it's closer to the bone. So the other aspect that I wanted you to touch on is, this is a region that doesn't have a huge electricity, internet, and phone penetration. How do you overcome challenges like those?
Yeah, first of all, I must say the app is offline.
Yes.
Which basically I just designed the app for Northern Kenya without thinking of monetary value or something. Yes. Because I had a good job and I'm here because I'm passionate about helping the community. So when you say offline, which means you won't make a lot of money, but you'll be
changing lives.
You're changing life actually.
Yes.
Imagine I went to Mandera sometimes back, and it makes me happy to see someone's like, "Hey, I'm using your app for my children," and they love it. Yeah. And then there's also another community in Brisbane, Australia. They sent me a video of their children learning Somali language, not even for the curriculum or for education.
No, for fun.
Learning their own for fun.
Yeah.
They are touching a rat. It gives them, jeer, and then they are laughing to the ground. Like it's funny. So it makes me happy when you see your work, it's touching lives, at different levels and different, location around the globe.
Yeah.
So basically, I must say, at least the what do you call it? The impact has been really, really huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think to wrap it up, you've touched about, the lack of political will, the local region. What do you look forward to in the future with this app?
Yeah, sorry, I have to take you. I forget the earlier question about the connectivity. And I just said it's offline. You don't need internet, number one. Number two, I came to realize the Ministry of Education heavily invested in rural electrification. Most of the schools I went to, they have a solar system that they use for charging. I think it's like very few, like let's say maybe 2% of schools that don't have a solar. Most of the schools we visited in Wajir, Garissa, and Mandera, the Ministry of Education really invested in the solar project, and they have that connectivity. And then also the Ministry of Education, through an elephant project called Digital Literacy Program, DLP, what do you call, equipped more than 22,000 schools in Kenya. And I was shocked to see that 118 schools in Wajir County has tablets, which they are not being used. So which means we are not short of even infrastructure. We just need political will. We just need the people to come out and say, hey, we need to adopt this thing. It's a homegrown thing. It doesn't, the goodness is what I'm solving is what I experience in my life. So we are solving homegrown solutions. So it just needs political goodwill, and we just need the right people to say the right things. Otherwise, I think we are not short of any infrastructure. For connectivity in terms of network, the app is offline. You can use it without internet. For power, I think most of the schools they have what do you call solar connection. So back to your other question. In the how many years? Please repeat that question. Where do you see?
In the next 4 or 5 years.
Basically, I want to have presence in so many African countries because Rwanda, we have a huge market as we speak. I'm trying to look for partners there. I've also signed an MOU with Longon Publishers. Is a publishing company which has presence in 9 African countries. Already the MOU is done, so we are trying to see the way forward for partnership. So we want to develop the 2 biggest African languages, the Hausa and Swahili. Botswana is adopting Swahili. The Somali region also in Ethiopia and what do you call it? The Somaliland also. I saw a university giving out Swahili lessons. So I think we also have a huge market in the Swahili language because Swahili is going to be an African language. So in the next 5 years or 4 years, inshallah, God willing, we might, or we shall, let's say we will have presence in more than 3 African countries. Right now, we have made a lot of noise locally. We have been awarded a lot by Africa Union as the best 10 promising innovations in Africa. We were first run up at Africa Telecommunication Union, and now we just went global to London for the Global EdTech Awards. So I think what's remaining now is pulling the right strings so that at least we explore the other regions. But locally, I think we have made a lot of noise. I don't think there's anyone in Kenya, or let's say northern Kenya, that doesn't know what M-Lugha does and how it's helping the society. So I think in 5 years, we need to be somewhere around Africa, or even Europe.
No, thank you so much. I mean, I'm really excited, and I can't wait to hear about your next moves. And when that happens, we'll definitely, invite you and have this conversation again. Abdinoor, thank you so much.